boys and girls. It's Andre from Dystopia here, and as you should know by now, Runaway Nuns have released their newest album. It's fucking banger, called Spit. So, naturally, we decided to ask them some questions about it.
Yeah, how's it? I'm PJ, drummer for Runaway Nuns. How you doing?
I believe it's safe to say that Runaway Nuns are one of the most influential garage punk bands on the South African underground circuit at the moment. What is your recipe? Where does the band's attention lie between business and passion project?
Thanks for the compliment, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, our recipe, I think it's basically that we're just like best mates, honestly, and we get along like really well. I don't think it would have like worked out if we weren't best mates. CJ, Desmond, Noah and Sean, they went to school together and stuff like that. So, and then I just tagged along and like, that worked out for the best. Regarding between business and passion, I would say we like basically 80% passion, but yeah. I mean, like we honestly don't care about, well sometimes we do, but we don't really care about like the money aspect and stuff. As long as we can get like covered on our spendings on doing gigs and like touring and stuff like that, so it doesn't like really hurt our pockets. Yeah, I think we're all crazy about what we're doing and or the band, and we really enjoy it.
As opposed to your previous releases, how does Spit differ in the eyes of the creators? What sets this brand spanking new release apart from the Nuns we know and love?
I think the main thing with Spit is that it's exactly that. It is the Nuns that people know and love. It's got that same high energy, sort of in-your-face attitude that we had with the earlier releases. Just now maybe with a bit more technical ability. So yeah, the question was what sets it apart. I think what sets it apart is that it's us being us at our best.
It's very evident to see your overall sound maturing from release to release. What was the intended goal of Spit, and how, if at all, does this differ from everyone's favorite, Holy Collusion?
Well, yeah, Spit is a bit different. It's way more honest, it's loud and it's fast, and that is what we love doing. As to our like previous releases, we really didn't know what we were doing. Just a bunch of songs we had, and we just like taped it together, and there you had it. This one we really thought through and took our time with it, and we're super proud with this one. Yeah. But yeah, we're still the same band, still the same people, and we're just like, it's just rock and roll, dude.
The pandemic we're all living through at the moment has forced the music scene into far from ideal circumstances. Heartbreakingly, it's also forced your Gauteng tours to be postponed. Do you have any words of solace for the pain, hate and Snor City dwellers?
I mean, yeah, fuck, I just wish we could have gone there, you know? I mean, we had to cancel a lot of shit this year. The biggest thing, the biggest bummer for us, I think, as a band was having to postpone our Europe tour, which was going to happen in like, I don't know, like less than 3 weeks, I think. Which obviously all went to shit after this outbreak. As for Snor City, we'll see you fucking soon, mate. Don't you worry. And hopefully Europe will follow soon.
This is my favorite part, nerd shit. Runaway Nuns is no strangers to sounding spectacularly full and tight. Tell us a bit about your recording process for this sonic candy, from writing your first singles, to getting into studio, to hearing your first masters.
Yeah, the good old recording process. The one that takes so fucking long just to get something out. Yeah, so I mean, we'll start and work on the songs together. Sean brings the idea. Basically, he makes the candy. We basically put the wrapping paper on it. So yeah, just to make it like aesthetically pleasing. I don't know, but anyway, that's how we usually start. And then we record the demos by ourselves. Like we would get into like our practice studio and just mic up a few instruments and stuff, and just get like the general idea of the song. Then we'll send it to Warren Fisher, who's our manager, fucking sound engineer. He's everything. He's like our dad. God bless him. Anyway, and he would listen to it, and he would produce some ideas and stuff like that. But he never pressures us. And then we make some slight changes. Then from there we just like practice it, and then we go to studio. After all the mix notes and everything, and the mixing and all that bullshit, then the masters come, and then you're like, well, it was actually all worth it. So yeah.
As your sound develops, your signature traits become more and more apparent. What, for you, are the old dusty pieces of gear that make Runaway Nuns sound like Runaway Nuns?
100% Desmond's fucking Telecaster. That thing's been with us since the beginning. Like, I think if I could pin down one piece of gear to encapsulate Runaway Nuns sound, it's that Teddy. Like, Sean and I tend to like change gear quite often. I think maybe me more so nowadays, but like we more like changed gear a bunch. But the one constant throughout all that mess and all those 12 strings and whatnot has been Desmond's fucking Telecaster. Yeah, I think that gear is the sound of Nuns.
Cape Town is seen by many as the creative hub of South Africa. Do you feel that this has had a large impact on the dynamic of your band? Are there any special people out there that we can thank for pushing the Nuns in the direction that you've gone?
Yeah, I would say it definitely had a large impact on us regarding you want to be like the tightest band on stage that night, sound the best, but it's good competition, you know. And I would like to thank people who push us in that direction to be the best who we can be. Is number one Warren Fisher, and secondly Warren Fisher, thirdly Warren Fisher. So yeah.
Spit has been described as a collection of internal conversation. Please shed some light on this in relation to the lyrical content.
Well, I mean, I think the best person to ask about this question would be the person who wrote the lyrics, which is Sean. But from my understanding of it and discussions we've had, it's definitely an internal dialogue between him and himself. Just him really just wrestling and getting to grips with his demons, I guess. Which is what makes it such a raw and honest album. Because I feel like for the first time he sort of, I don't know, just embraced every part of himself, the good and the bad, and written about it honestly, which created some really rad music in my opinion.
In an ideal world, where would Runaway Nuns be right now in terms of location and feel of the music? Would you feel that your most recent release materialized exactly as envisioned?
In an ideal world, Runaway Nuns would have gone to Europe by now, played in Joburg, in Hayton Snore City, and the album would have been released sooner and stuff like that. But like, it doesn't really matter. I think out of all of this bullshit going on around the pandemic, our album is actually doing really well. But yeah, sometimes in a shitty situation, something good comes out of it. I don't know.
What are some of the cornerstone artists that inspired your sound? What are some personal favorites that we might not have expected?
Woo! Fuck, okay. Well, I mean, like the main one, the one that actually got the band fucking going in the first place, was Black Lips. Like that was, we all had a deep, I want to say love, but it was more an obsession with Black Lips in the early days. Like it was, yeah, we dove deep into that black hole, and then coming to Cape Town really, like I honestly don't think if Black Lips didn't come to Cape Town, we would not, Runaway Nuns would not exist. I can say that without any doubt in my mind. And it was simply because of the fact that we ended up having a conversation with the then guitarist Jack Hines about music and about life. And what we walked away from is that he basically said, dude, start a band with your best friends, you all play music, do it together, it's the best you can ever do. And the following week we booked a rehearsal space at Kill City, and we didn't have a drummer. It was me, Desmond and Sean, just rehearsing at Kill City with no drummer, just because Jack Hines told us to. So yeah, if there was one band that I can say is really responsible for us being who we are, it's definitely the Leaps. And then my personal influences, something that you might not expect. I'm a huge fan of Britney Spears, especially the song fucking Toxic. Like, it's amazing. Like, production in that song fucks me up. Like, if anyone has not heard that song for some godly reason, listen to it and just listen to like the guitar work, the bass work, the vocals. It's amazing. Britney, Toxic, fire. It's a hit.
Would there be one piece of advice you would give yourselves in the early days of Runaway Nuns? And what would that be?
Well, advice to old Runaway Nuns. Dude, practice more. Why didn't you practice yesterday? So I think you should go practice more. You should definitely go practice more a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit more, dude. Like, honestly, you should put in like 4 hours a day or maybe more. So yeah, it's just practice, dude. That's all it is.
Question 12. The floor is yours. Any messages for your fans, your parents, or local bands in general?
To the local band scene, it's crazy to see how much content everyone's putting out, like, while we can't do anything. It's like, yeah, it's properly inspiring. It keeps, I think, all the bands pushing in their own individual capacities, like, helps push each and every one of us. And my favorite thing about our particular music scene is how supportive we all are of each other's musical endeavors. And I think it's a very special thing, and it doesn't happen everywhere. And I've heard it with like older generations, even within Cape Town, of like how things work on that side, and even with like places in different cities. Like, I just think here we're really cooking on something special. I think I'm gonna name drop, and I'm gonna quote Mr. Carl Hagen from Holy Wave, and he said his immediate perception of the Cape Town music scene is that we have this beautiful stew that everyone just puts a little ingredient in and it creates something special. And I think we need to keep that stew going, even though we can't play shows. So keep putting out content, it keeps all of us entertained, and it just keeps like a clears up and morale up, which I think is good when everyone's going through a hard time. For my parents, I love you so much. To the Wags, the Runaway Wags, the band would be fuck all without the Wags. One of the Wags is pulling me this fucking interview right now, so that gives you an exact example of how important they are. Is that good? I think I nailed it. There we go. Done. Woohoo!
I just really want to say thank you to all the fans and the great support they've been giving us throughout our like little tiny career or like music career. But thanks for the support on Spit, man. Like, honestly, we wouldn't have thought it would do, like, we never thought it would do kind of well. It's doing kind of well. It's doing kind of good. And we really appreciate it. I mean, we appreciate the fans coming out like every gig we have, even though we play like 3 times a weekend, but like the same cats will always come to our shows. And guys, we really do appreciate it. Like, all the moshes in front, all the people at the back. Yeah, it's always a joy. Thank you so much.